Hey, good morning, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, and as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Joe Boo Sports Report. But you guys, man, really does not work. Let's get open for business on this morning, where we are just 198 days, 11 hours, 55 minutes, and 10 seconds away from kick of the 2018 season. I got to tell you, time keeps on slipping into the future. When I started this thing, it was 210 days. Look at it already, 198. It is flying by. And thank you for this morning's edition of Don't Sleep on the Dallas Cowboys, because you literally cannot sleep on the Dallas Cowboys. Things happen late in the evening, late at night, first thing in the morning, so you want to be up to speed with all that is America's team. And today, friends, today is the beginning of business for the NFL, although technically business never ends because we know about already teams that have been cutting some players and that have been re-signing players and stuff like that. The football season technically really does not end. However, there are certain dates that are very important, and today is one of those. Today opens up the 2 week period where teams can designate franchise tag players. What does that mean, of course? Basically, we do not want you to go out on the open market because you are free. You are the franchise. Without you, we cannot make it without you. So it buys the teams one of two things: the opportunity to hold on to them, top five rate of take the top five, and that's the franchise tag at that position, or it gives them until July 15th to get a long-term deal done. Now, the Dallas Cowboys aren't looking to franchise tag DeMarcus Lawrence right now. They're actually trying to work on getting a deal done over the course of the next 2 weeks, in which case they won't use the tag on him. But using the tag doesn't cost you anything other than what you're paying the player. So it's not like they're going to save money by not tagging him and getting the contract done or anything. Although, if a long-term deal done, more than likely the way the Cowboys typically do their deals are, it will be more cap relief in the first year than it will be later on. They'll let the contract build as the salary cap builds. Hence, if they end up signing Amari Cooper to an extension, his $13.9 million probably will be maybe around the 8, 9, $10 million range for him the first year, thus creating more room to be able to sign other guys. So we've got that going. As you know, yesterday we talked about the Cowboys aren't picking up the option for Terrence Williams, and he is now going to be a free agent. Was injured most of the year last year, never really got a footing on the offense this way, and sadly had his best years with Tony Romo. And that's another piece of the 2014 team that is now gone. This roster has turned over almost completely. And we now know that they're going to keep one more of those pieces from the 2014 season beyond. LP Ladouceur will be coming back for his 15th season. Let me say again, 15th season. This guy alone is probably the reason why the Dallas Cowboys aren't the youngest team in the NFL. He skews the totals way the hell up because he's old as dirt, but reliable as can be. You never hear about a bad snap on an extra point, field goal, or punt. The guy has been straight butter, and in fact, is a Pro Bowler in 2014 where I actually got to meet him. So that's great news for us. We are in great shape, and my wife is flashing the light, saying goodbye. Have a nice day at work, honey. Uh, so that's where we are with the Dallas Cowboys right there. Another piece that we now know back will be David Irving, who is a free agent and an actor apparently right now, which, wow, kind of surprised you. I mean, David Irving, you never know what to expect. I wish him the best of luck in acting. I hope that he succeeds in there. And I'm sad that he did not live up to the potential that he had. The Dallas Cowboys, more than anything else, this team is built by homegrown talent. In 2 weeks, free agency opens up. You're going to see a lot of players that are going to be getting a lot of money, big fat contracts, going from one team to the next. But the reality is, most teams that sign a lot of big name free agents don't necessarily win. Now, there are exceptions to the rules. The Eagles were one of those exceptions, getting the Super Bowl. And you can say that Denver was getting Peyton Manning. But the problem with getting those big name free agents is basically you're renting the guy for 2 years. And when you start looking at 10, 12, 15, $18 million contracts a year, it doesn't give you money to kind of go around for. So hence you're better off if you draft well and you find guys on the cheap. And that's one of the things that the Dallas Cowboys have been great at, is getting that homegrown talent. You look at this roster, it's not made up of any big name free agents. In fact, the last big name free agent they signed was Greg Hardy, and that blew up in their face. Before that, it was Brandon Carr. And Brandon Carr was steady, but he was never the shutdown corner that you would think for the money that we paid. But when you look at a guy like David, who was on Kansas City's practice squad, the Cowboys plucked him. And I'll say they got their money's worth out of a guy who was a practice squad guy. That he had potential to really do some damage, but potential doesn't mean anything if you don't have the desire to use it. It just lays there dormant, waiting to respond. And that's where we are with David Irving. So the Cowboys have already decided two pieces definitely need to go, in Terrence Williams and David Irving, and two pieces definitely need to stay, in DeMarcus Lawrence and LP. And over the course of the next 2 weeks, as the team tries to get ready for the opening of the league year, we're going to see some other people that are going to be cut, and shaping that's going to happen. They may have some eyes on some players that they may want to try and get in free agency, which is against Stephen Jones's nature. Stephen Jones likes to bargain basement shop in free agency. He doesn't like to be a player the first week or so. But the question you have to ask, if you're in the front office right now, if you're looking at this situation, if you absolutely positively adore Jason Garrett and want Jason Garrett to be back, you look at this team being as young as it is, you ask yourself, are we in a rebuild mode, or are we in a mode that we believe we're close and should try and make a run and put all effort forth on that? There's a big difference between the two. If you're the New York now, they're looking at it and saying, we need to rebuild. We need to get rid of our high-priced talent. You know, that's where if we can get some picks for Odell Beckham, good offer for him, he's gone. Because the window for them, reach. They got to start from scratch, build this roster up and go. You look at the Cowboys right now and you say, Zeke Elliott, best running back in football. You don't know how long running backs last. They have a short window life. So you look at that and say, over the course of, say, the next 3-4 years, Zeke Elliott is going to be prime. You look at your offensive line. You know Tyron Smith is getting up there now. You don't know how many more good years you have of him. Zach Martin, first injury and things. Travis Frederick, he's been, you know, the syndrome and stuff. So you look at that offensive line and say, how many more years do we have with this offensive line like that? You know, we got 2-3 good years maybe of these guys being together. Your quarterback, he's young, so you know you've got him for down the road if he is the guy. Your defense, they're young. So you look at it and say, can we compete for a Super Bowl? And if we can, do we go ahead and mortgage the future by getting a piece or two to try and get us over the hump? And that's where I think the Dallas Cowboys are right now. Our division, Washington Redskins have one quarterback on the roster. The New York Giants are on the fence on whether or not Eli Manning should be the quarterback for next year. They're on the fence of, do we tear this thing apart and start all over? The Eagles, they're in cap hell right now. They've got to gut the team to get underneath the league minimum, and they got people they got to pay. They've got a little turmoil there at quarterback. They're trying to get rid of one of them, but you don't know if Carson Wentz can stay on the field. And Eagle fans, I know you're going to be giving me hate, so go ahead, fine, that's cool. So you look at your division and you say, We're up at the top of it. You look at the NFL, there's going to be teams that are going to fall like they always do. And you look at right now, the Rams as probably the best two teams in the NFC. But after that, there's nobody else that you look at and say, wow, that's a juggernaut. The Eagles, like I said, are a good team. But who else? Who else? The Bears. Okay. Bears, though, don't send me a hate mail, Bears. Okay. You may be that team that rised and then falls and doesn't make the playoffs next year. So that's where I am with the Dallas Cowboys. I go ahead and, if I'm playing poker, I'm all in. The time is now. The NFC conference, to me, is down. And I think you got an opportunity. We'll see what the Dallas Cowboys brass has. You know, I am just Joe the fan here with no power, no pull. I'm just reporting on what I see. I'm Mark Holmes. I got to get to my day job. I'll see you guys soon. And thank everybody for last night coming in on our live stream. We had a ball last night doing a few new tricks and things with the software and stuff. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what your thoughts were with the being able to put in the tracks and stuff like that, the closing pieces and stuff like that. And we're going to continue to keep adding more and more stuff. All right, guys, I will see you guys. Hold on to your hats. Stay close to the phone. Make sure you subscribe because it's going to start getting crazy with the Dallas Cowboys because stuff's going to be happening left and right. I'll see you soon.